Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Welcome to the Open Tech Talks.tv. Today we have guest speaker with us, and he's an expert. And the good thing is that he's providing CTO or a C-level services to the startups and a lot of other departments, or you can say that the organizations. And we have Joe Azar, the founder of Azar Consulting Services, with us. Welcome, Joe, to the Open Tech Talks.tv. And
thank you, Kashif, for the invite and for having me.
Sure. And Joe, if you can brief about yourself to the audiences, that so that they can understand who they are talking and who they are listening to.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Joseph Azar, Joe for short. I've been in the tech industry for almost 25 years, professionally, and personally, it's been almost 27, 30 years. I come from a small country in the Middle East called Lebanon. I've been in Sydney for the past 6 years, and I guess I went through the normal career path. You know, when you start off working just entry-level jobs, programming and the data entry, and go through the ranks. I guess for the past 10 years, I've been a C-level employee, both technical and non-technical. So my recent job has been CTO for a company called Foresight, which is an Australian company based in Sydney. So Foresight is basically the first company to be able to launch a fully mass-produced ECE certified motorcycle helmet, smart motorcycle helmet. We've been working on the product for the past 5 years. Three if you don't include COVID and lockdowns. The idea came from our CEO, who had a motorcycle accident and came off his bike. And he came up with the idea thinking that, you know, how can he help other motorcycle riders to avoid that? And I came on board as number 3 in the company, so with him and the co-founder, and took the idea from I guess, as you call it, a napkin idea, where you write your idea on a napkin, and managed to deliver the first product to the market 2 years ago. We've sold so far 6,000 units internationally, in Australia, Europe, USA, and Canada. So USA and Canada launched a few weeks ago. We've been trying to get into the market, but I guess it was a bit slow because of the barrier to entry, and the fact that, you know, that their working hours are different, and the DOT certification, because our helmet is CE certified. And now that we've launched, I wanted to explore other things, and I guess the one of the reasons that I launched my own company was because I saw a lot of companies in the market, I guess, struggling with their system automations and trying to scale up as fast as they can. So I thought I could provide that as a service. Before that, I was Chief Operations Officer for a fintech company, also the first in the Middle East to do bank-to-bank transfer of money and payment. I did that for about 5 years, 4 years and a bit. And yeah, here I am in Sydney.
All right,
I guess
great.
yeah, it's a fun journey, and I like being involved in multiple companies and seeing people's ideas come to fruition, I guess.
Oh, okay. So I think it brought me a question of this is smart helmet to understand maybe one more into depth. Smart helmets, when
Yeah,
do smart helmet? And this is like getting from idea and then building it, engineering it, and then taking it to market. And as you
yeah,
said, you were the number three. So what is the key thing in this smart helmet? So if for
yeah. So basically, it's got an integrated camera. It's a
okay,
1080p 60 FPS camera. We've got a patented LED display. It's an LED
okay,
display that goes in your peripheral vision so that
okay,
when you're riding, you get notifications, let's say from navigation, turn right, turn left, police ahead, bumps ahead, slippery road.
hmm
It's a safety slash entertainment or fun product in the sense
okay,
that it helps you navigate and escape from road issues, but at the same
hmm
time you can use it, on going for a ride with your friends. You can communicate with your friends while riding. You can
hmm
record as a dash cam or as a scenic view. Um, and the whole idea came about, um, I guess, as I said, from our CEO who had an accident, and he thought
right.
if there is a way to inform the rider before things come in their view. So let's
hmm
say there's a slippery road ahead. If you get an alert saying, a slippery road in 500 meters, then you can then take your precautions, slow down, make sure you're going at the right speed. If there's a bump or a pothole in the road, so this was, I guess, the initial thought behind making the product. If we can save lives from that product and at the same time entertain them and give them the experience,
Right.
that was the whole point of it. And yeah, it's got a dual Bluetooth chip, two microphones, one facing
Mm.
outwards, one facing
Okay,
inwards.
great.
It's a headset with premium audio, so you can listen to music while you're riding. You can
Mhm,
talk to your friends over comms. Yeah,
mhm,
so many features. We've got, I guess, two apps in the market, native apps, one for Android, one for iOS, where you connect your helmet to it, and then you get everything through the backend, which is Microsoft Azure,
okay.
and it's fed to the phone, and then from the phone to the helmet.
All right. Great.
Yeah, it's an
I
exciting product.
No, exciting, and it gave us a lot of questions we were to talk about it today.
Yeah,
So let's yeah. So let's start from as a CTO. Either you in your current company, or maybe you are working with other startups or as a service which you are offering them.
yep, yep,
So the fundamental comes to you that okay, you need to decide certain technology elements while being in a role.
yep.
So you take it as your organization or maybe as a startup. So how your thought process goes into it, and if someone is listening and who is pursuing his career in and to become a C-level or IT manager. So what are the traits you need to be keeping in mind? Maybe some insight to it.
Yeah, so I guess the first thought that comes to mind from your question is it's something that I focus on, and I focused on throughout my career, which is focusing on the product and not the technology, in the sense that, technology is a tool. It's not the end
Mhm.
result. It's a tool that you use to get from where you are to where you want to be. So I guess the advice that I always give to every customer is, uh, be technology agnostic, as in don't have a specific preference for a tech stack or a specific tool. Focus on the story. Okay, I'll give you an example. Um, we've developed our apps native Android and native
Right.
iOS, and there's always other technologies out there. You've got cross platform technologies. You can develop with JavaScript. You can use Xamarin. You can use so many technologies. If you forget the technology aspect and you think of the end result, right? You have
Mm.
a mapping system with extensive back end access. Um, the end result is to get a seamless technology or a seamless app that users can use.
Mhm.
Customers don't actually care whether you've used native iOS or native Android. They just
Mm.
want an app that works. It looks good. It behaves the way it's supposed to. It connects when you want it to connect. It works when you want it to work. And that's the end goal. So I think if you put too much emphasis on the technology
Yeah.
itself, you miss the target.
Mhm.
We don't actually care whether it's a Microsoft tech stack,
Mm.
it's an
Mhm.
AWS tech stack, it's
Mm.
a Google tech stack, as long as the technology is there to serve a purpose, which is to get that product into the hands of your customers and they have a good experience with it. So
Nice.
that's my approach with everything. I don't have a preference for a specific technology or even a tool. It could be something that I've never used before, as long as it gives me that end goal in the quickest and most cost-effective way. Then I'll go in that direction, even if I have to learn something or hire somebody that knows how to use that tool. So I guess from a business perspective, you need to always focus on the end goal and not just
Mhm.
the technology, because as every company says they have the best technology out there. But if you just take yourself out of it, you can you can assess that all of them are somehow the same. They provide the same security, the same tools, the same customer support, the same. So it's up to you to make that decision, and that decision should always be business based, not um, technology or tool based.
Okay. Then I agree to it, and then it's difficult for deciding it. Although we are focusing on business, so but there must be some key traits to look into it. All right, even two three companies are giving you the same set of technology or the options and the security and the usability. So, what are the key elements which you keep in mind? Anything compared to maybe cost or maybe availability of resources, anything which can comes in your mind.
Yeah, so I guess from my perspective,
Mhm.
it's speed and cost at the same time. And well, we've got the triangle. It's either speed, cost, or quality. So it's a constant struggle to try to decide which one comes first, and it's always
Mhm.
based on like for instance, with the company that I'm working on with now.
Mhm.
Um, so they want to deliver a product, and they're struggling to get the technology working. They're going with a Bluetooth headset, um, and my suggestion was um, pick a product or a chip that has the easiest um, time to market possible,
Right.
because you need to validate whether or not your idea is market ready or has customers, right? So for me to be able to give you an answer, a blanket answer that works with everything is not possible, right? It depends
Right.
on what you want to achieve. So um, when the funny thing is when you talk to customers, it's always like, okay, we want to do it. We want to do this in these specific steps, and I always step back and say, don't tell me how to do my job. Tell me what you want to achieve. Tell me the customer or the business side of the story,
Right.
not the technology side of the story, and then we'll discover the technology part afterwards, right? So,
Mm.
because every customer wants to explain how things should work,
True.
but I always step back and say, tell me the story first. What is the story? What do you want to achieve? And forget how you want to achieve it, because
Hmm.
how we'll discover afterwards. First, what is the thing that you want to achieve? And that's how I look at everything. I guess from the different sides of the business.
Okay. Very, very well said. Now, as you start working with this from idea to bringing a product into market, and now you're working most of the other startups or organizations, and they are some are getting successes, some getting failure, some. If we put it in a question, how has a failure or apparent failure, set up you for a later success?
Well, that's a very philosophical question. So I'll try to answer it as realistic and boots on the ground as
Hmm.
possible. So there's a saying that goes in the startup world, which is fail fast, fail often,
Hmm.
so that you can then reach your success. And some people argue against it, some people argue with it. Um, it's there every business thinks that every person they work with know the answer,
Mm.
and I'm a very honest person, to a point where excuse me, to a point where I'm a bit blunt,
Hmm.
in the sense that um, I never tell customers that I'm the best at what I do. All I can say is I'm a person who can try to give you the answers, okay? Because I may not. So I may give them the answer they're looking for. I may not give
Right.
them the answer they're looking for, right? So it's important to keep yourself honest and keep your feet on the ground. And you may come up with an idea that's $100 million idea, and maybe your idea is bad, it fails. Um,
Hmm.
and there's always something to learn from both ends, right?
True.
As long as you keep yourself honest and focus on what you've learned from this journey, there's always something to learn from anything that you do. So when you say fail fast, fail often, it's not just, it's not as I guess straightforward as you think it is. It's just for you to focus on, in case you fail, try to learn something from it. It's not as direct as, fail often, fail fast, so that you can then move on to something else. It's more like try something in small incremental dosage,
Mm.
discover if they worked. If they haven't worked, try to learn from them, and if they have worked, keep applying them to get, to progress faster.
Great. And that's important. Integrity, personal integrity is should not be at the stake. And I agree to it.
Yeah, and with everything that you do, like if you manage to just increase your productivity, or get better at something, only
Mm.
1% a day, that's a big achievement, right? So try to not
Right.
to focus on the big wins, focus on the small wins, and try to achieve them as often as you can.
True. True. Okay. So now, as being CTO, so you must be hiring some new teammates, and so maybe a question: what are the qualities you are targeting or looking into the candidates who you are hiring or interviewing, especially in technology space?
Yeah, so our approach at Foresight is not, I would say, standard in the sense that it depends on the role we're hiring for. Something that
Mhm.
we always look for in every candidate, regardless of any department they're working in, is passion. And from my perspective and in my department, I would say in my previous department, because I'm now consulting for Foresight, is emotional intelligence and passion.
Mhm.
So, I think that's something that people focus on, which is skills is something you can teach,
Right.
but I guess attitude is something you can't teach. So we try to focus on passion. So far, it's been amazing for us because when you're passionate about something, you would move mountains to get it done, or you
Mhm.
move mountains to get to see um, your work reach fruition and see feedback from customers. So, as you know, most of the employees in Foresight ride motorcycles. So we focused on that aspect of
Mm.
the hiring, and it's not a discrimination per se, but if we hire somebody who's passionate about riding motorcycles, then you can get feedback from them. You can understand, because I ride and almost everyone in the team rides. When
Mm.
I'm using the product that I make every day in my commute back and forth to the office, on weekends when we go to
Right.
company rides, we're always thinking, okay, I've got this product. What can I do extra to make it better? What
Right.
feature would I want to see in it? Because maybe that feature would then other people would like to see it. And that has been, I can't stress enough how important that has been to Foresight. And
Mm.
the second thing would be um, emotional intelligence, because um, it helps with team dynamics. If
Right.
you're somebody who knows how to play in teams, can communicate with other people based on your maturity level. And then I guess the last one, and that should have been the first, but the last one is technical skill set.
Mm.
But it's not
Mm.
as important as the first two.
Right. 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 So, and how you are finding these qualities in the candidates? Is it easy to get, or is it
It's
hard?
difficult. No, it's
Difficult.
difficult. I would say
Okay.
it's very difficult. Yeah,
Okay.
because um, I guess in technology, as you may have noticed, we're more focused on the tech aspect and
Thanks.
not the writing aspect. So it was a bit difficult to find team members that actually ride. But what we've done is we've incentivized them to learn how to ride. So the company
Mm.
covers your expenses in learning how to ride motorcycles, taking courses, doing
Mm.
your L license, or progressing to P license, because we want you to experience what you're
Experience.
making. Yeah,
Right.
because that's how we get the best feedback, by you trying the
Mm.
product. So if you don't ride a motorcycle, it's difficult to put on your helmet and drive your car, and that's
Mm.
illegal
Mm.
as well. Yeah, so
True.
that it has been difficult, but we were lucky in finding people that have been amazing to the team.
Mm. Right. And I think both are the great input. Right? inputs
Yeah.
to someone who's targeting as a candidate, right? Now maybe let's go back to the concept of your which you are running as a consulting, which is a CTO as a
Yep.
service. So maybe
Yep.
if you can give us context to it and how you're providing services or what type of and what benefits startups can get out of it.
Yeah. So the whole idea came from, and I sometimes hesitate to tell the idea or the story behind it because it's not as I guess as interesting as the foresight idea. So with my involvement in foresight, I got the chance to talk to many companies throughout the 5 years that have passed. And something that kind of stuck in my head is the fact that multi-million dollar companies, and I'm not joking about this, still
Mm-hmm.
use Excel sheets to manage their businesses. And to me, that's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like
I
Excel.
agree.
It's a good tool. It's good to put your accounting information on it and try to get charts and update it. But it's not a tool made for, let's say, shared work across a network
Mm-hmm.
or marking, let's say, project status with colors and manually data entry of all of your information in it. It's meant to be used by one person or as a
Right.
reporting tool if that's possible as well. So that kind of triggered something in me, and I got to a point where I thought, okay, well, if I can help one company automate their business processes and show them how technology can lead to better employee retention. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
employees would do the job regardless of whether they need the job or not. But eventually the routine and the fact that they're not achieving anything from their jobs is draining, right? And I guess if I can get to a stage where I am able to help these employees get some kind of satisfaction of doing their jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be amazing. And of course, make money out of the whole thing if possible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So that's and I like being involved in different businesses because I'm a curious person by nature.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, so I'm a curious person by nature, and I like to understand people's perspectives and ask about things ever since I was a kid. So this gives me the opportunity to get involved in more people's businesses and hopefully, try to help them out with their scale ups.
Right. Okay. And maybe a question to leads us to the to the what is going on in the world, AI, and you're working on emerging tech, I think, with the helmet and all that, and I
Yes.
can correlate to because I was doing some demos and we bought some dark helmets for this manufacturing with the VR and AR, and I can
Yep.
relate some to it. So maybe with the chat GPT in town, so and how you are
Yeah.
saying to
Yeah.
so how you some inputs to it to area of AI and how you see that the startup ecosystem is taking it up, or maybe organizations should consider to it few lines on it that will help someone to
Yeah.
get to it.
Yeah. Well, the first advice that I have for every startup, um, please stop using AI as a linchpin or a way to get VCs interested in your business. It's it's an amazing technology, don't get me wrong. But what I'm discovering from a lot of startups is you're making let's say an app that does something. They put AI in the beginning, and then they slap it on, and then they hope that VCs come on board and give them money. That doesn't work, okay? Because VCs are not idiots, okay? They've reached this stage in their growth by actually vetting every company that they invest in, okay? So if you think you can add AI to anything and then hope that you get a better valuation, it doesn't work like that. So if you're providing something that can be done using AI, that's amazing. Please do that, because this is the technology, and it's starting to pick off, or to pick up, but it's not where it's the whole fear of AI is not justified. Yes, AI is gonna take our jobs. I wouldn't say so. It's a good tool. Use it as you will. Use it in ingenious ways, but don't slap it on your name just so that you can get VCs interested. VCs actually go through their due diligence. They check the technology. They make sure that you're providing something unique. And if you are providing it through AI, perfect. If you're not, don't slap the name on it. So yeah, I'm actually working on a few startups at the moment, and everybody keeps asking, but why didn't you put AI into it? And I'm like, but there's no need for AI. It does the job without doing AI. If in the future there's a point for me to use AI or ChatGPT or OpenAI or any kind of LLM out there, then I'll add it. But it's not a requirement for every new business. Focus on the business, focus on the value that you bring to your customers. And if it happens to be done with AI, perfect. That's the I don't know if you agree. I think
no, I also agree to
this
it. Rather than
conversation has
just
been one-sided.
no, that's true. Rather than going on AI path, just I wanted to get into it. There's no point of going into it. And I agree to it.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It's kind of like similar to blockchain. Every
true.
business wants to put blockchain into it, but blockchain is meant to be used in a specific way. If your business doesn't have that need, then why use it, right? Or Web3 or any kind of technology that came before that. Everybody's like jumping on the bandwagon of whatever is mainstream. Just focus on the value that you bring. And if it happens to be using that technology, great. But if it's not, then just don't use it.
Right. Thank you so much. And I think with this, we are almost into conclusion. So if someone wants to reach out to you, so what channel should be they following up?
Well, the easiest, I guess, would be the website, azarconsulting.com.au, or my LinkedIn profile. I'm always available. I'm the big guy with black t-shirt. So Joseph Azar, easy to find.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your recommendations and
Thank you,
expertise to the technology space who they are working, even they are into startups, or maybe they are working in different organizations. Really appreciate for all the support and joining the session.
Thank you. I enjoyed our conversation.
Thanks
for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the OTech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.